So, welcome to episode 3 of the off-season. Episode 1 we took you through a very educational leg day. Episode 2 we took you through a full day of eating, gave you an update on where I'm at in my journey and where I plan to go. And now we're into episode 3 is where the fun begins. So we've got Ryan on the channel today, obviously featured in the Rotherham video. So we're going to get a little bit of an insight into his journey and take you through a shoulder session. So you've probably seen him in the Rotherham video, wasn't mic'd up so we didn't get much of him. So we're going to get a good insight as to his journey. So I met Ryan uni a few years ago.
Yeah, a few years ago now before I left. Mark was always one of the guys I seen walking about uni with a big car, so I was like, who is this guy?
Still the thing I had going for me back then.
But no, so I've known Mark a few years through like kind of football and kind of mutual pals and that, but never really been that close until we really started coaching with Ben. I reached out to Mark, obviously asking what it was like, etc. And from there, it's kind of just been training together. Obviously went into Rotherham as well together, and kind of just been training a lot and get some content together. It's good to obviously have somebody on that same mindset as yourself. So it's been good, and hopefully the future will be similar as well. Doing plenty of content and plenty of trips being planned.
Definitely. It's been good bouncing off of Ryan. I've spoke about it on my socials a lot about having someone else that you can bounce off with on the same wavelength, and I'd say we definitely push each other in terms of I want the best for him, he wants the best for me, so we're going to brutally murder each other in this shoulder session.
I'm looking forward to this. My split's a wee bit different now. I'm still in the digging phase, so Mark's got me doing a full shoulder session today. So
I've got the calories up in me in this off season.
I'm still sitting in bare minimum calories, he's sitting at nice and high calories, so we'll see how it goes, but plenty of caffeine in the system, pre-workout monster. I've had a wee meal in me as well, so we'll see how it goes.
So we're just getting started. Movement number 1, just want to fatigue out the side delt. Nice and easy, standing lateral raises, 3 sets of 12 to 15. Then we're going to go into a triple drop set, again keeping the 12 to 15 rep range.
Beautiful.
You're still in your dieting phase? How have you found that?
It's been tough, so obviously I've had a few like holidays coming up and that, so it's not been a pure like straight run at it. I've had it like 4 weeks on, 1 week off on holiday, 3 weeks on, 1 week on holiday, and keeps on that, and I've got a holiday again in 2 weeks. So it's one of the ones where I've not had a full like 12-week like cutting phase, kind of been stop-start, so it's been quite aggressive. So I'm going on plan, then coming off plan, on plan, off plan. So I found that hard because I'm getting into routine and I'm falling out of routine. So I'm looking forward to getting a good 12-week course run at it. But I think the plan is kind of just for content based, to cut myself and get myself as dry as possible until maybe November, December time, and then go on a wee off season, obviously prep myself for summer 23 and see how that goes. But overall we find it not too bad. It's just the first 2 weeks of anything you do is just it's hard to get into
pushing past that.
Once you're in that's a mindset and you can just get used to it, you just kind of just tick over. As I said, mate, I don't mind the cutting phase too much. My first proper hard cutting phase I've ever had, I've always been quite fortunate where I've always been quite lean, but it's just kind of taking it to that next level. It's good having, for example, yourself and obviously Ben in my corner telling me, you look good, but you can look so much better. I'm looking at photos saying I look lean, and he's going, there's so much fat I can pull off your lower back, so much fat to pull off there. So it is good to have that wee extra bit of motivation.
It's that second opinion as well, like that.
100%.
Particularly with Ben, he's so honest, isn't he?
Oh, 100%.
But in a good way.
Yeah, that's what you need, because some of these boys smoke up your arse all the time, you think you're the best, and you leave it at that. Whereas I do check-ins, I sent Ben a video, I remember, a week out for my check-in, I was like, I look so good in this, I'm going to send him it. And he replied, yeah mate, looks good, but can pull off. And I was like,
always
you're joking, man. I was like, but that's what you need, because then obviously that means next week we're into it. I'm like, right, I need to make a better version of that self from the previous week. So
because you were in good shape when you started with Ben.
I was. I thought that I was lean, but
from
really
an outside
looking
perspective
back,
though, I was even the same. Like when I got started with Ben, I was thinking I'm in decent shape, but you go to different levels.
Yeah, it depends where you want to take your physique and where you want to take obviously a business game as well. So obviously Ben's a business coach, and for that you need to obviously have somebody, a role model like Ben, to kind of look at and play like that's where I want to be in X amount of years, or obviously just get yourself there. And it is good having that wee extra push in the corner, 100%. That's been a difference in my training and my business the last couple of months, just kind of like learning new things and obviously implementing that onto your clients. You're the same, like your online game's growing massively and like it's classy, doing so well, and a lot of that's came from just the discipline that Ben's taught us. I think discipline and all that sort of stuff comes into a lot of stuff as well, so no, that is good.
So me and Liam McGee, my body fat on him, love that.
Getting there.
Finished off with our front delts, getting all the blood pumped into the shoulder area. We're now going to go into our first compound, which is going to be a incline shoulder press. Try and tax that front delt. We'll test your strength here at this point.
Yeah, no, that'll be good. Good
more
to see.
Calories, maybe less strength.
I'm feeling quite good today. Like usually actually a bit later on in the day, we've had 2 meals in the system. Well, I'm cutting, obviously I want to get as much energy as possible, but 1 meal in, I'm actually feeling not too bad. I think the caffeine's taking a turn.
See when your calories are as low. I remember when Ben had me in such low calories, and see you training yourself, training with someone.
It's night and day, 100%, man. Just having that somebody else push you on, obviously spot you in bits we usually give in, makes a difference. And we said that in my previous videos, having a training partner is also so beneficial. If you don't have one, you're trying to progress in the gym, get yourself somebody like-minded, get yourself at the gym and obviously push each other.
So we're going to take this for a run, test young Ryan's strength here.
Oh, right.
So obviously you're in very, very good shape now, but where did you come from? Where did you start your journey?
So I started the gym when I was around 16, turning 17, and I think I weighed roughly, I estimated around 58 kilograms, maybe 57 kilograms or so. It was a matter of just kind of going to the gym, not really having a clue what I was doing, following no really structure, and eating as much as I can, and just trying to build up as much mass as possible. So I kind of started off with Elite Fitness, went in, was training chest every day. I think that's why my chest is more dominant compared to the rest of my body.
I've been training with you since I was 16.
So I think that's why it stands out a little bit more. I was doing that for about a year. Generally, when I was doing chest press, I think I was working back and stuff like that, but it was that way where it was just like the gym was my happy place at the time. I wasn't really enjoying the school, so I was enjoying just getting out there. 5 years later, I'm now sitting at roughly 78 kilograms. I was 76 my lightest a few weeks ago. Had IB fast, 78 kilograms now. My heaviest I have been to be up at 81, 82 kilograms. So I found a good weight where I had a good balance where I can kind of like eat good foods, obviously just focus on getting as lean as possible while keep my strength still reasonably high. So it's one of the ones where I played football, slowly falling in love for that, went into the gym as a matter of just kind of from there, just building on it. And I've met a lot of people obviously in the last couple of years that kind of like taught me and obviously like guided me the right path. And they obviously meet people like yourself, and obviously have my coach like Ben, and obviously push my knowledge a little bit further. And obviously I'm a personal trainer now as well, so I'm implementing all that knowledge onto my clients as well.
So if you were, when you were 16 up to the stage you're at just now, was any other like 16-year-olds out watching this? What would be the time frame you would say in terms of training properly and nailing things to get to the physique that you have just now?
So beginner gains is vital, so people don't realise how beginner gains is. It's where obviously your first maybe, some people say 6 months, some people say the first year of your training, that's when you're going to see your biggest growth in strength, weight, appearance, everything. So what you really should do is when you're first getting to the gym, follow a plan, as basic as it is, get a plan, track it, and progressive overload. You've spoken progressive overload in your videos before.
I'm massive progressive overload. I think that's something I've only just sort of realised in the last year or so was, and you say a bit of plan, people come in and wing it. And obviously when we were younger, that's what we used to do. You did it for the enjoyment of it, but if there's any young people watching this and you're wanting to take your journey seriously, get a plan in place, track your lifts, get your logbook, and obviously that's how you get yoked. Like,
don't make it big complex, just make it nice and simple. Just go in with a simple plan, start off, get the basics correct, get your form correct, because obviously forms are where you're going to grow time under tension. If you're going in pushing the heaviest weight with your form, breaking your back and all that sort of stuff, it's going to impact you in the long run. So really just focus on getting the form correct, lifting nice simple weights, simple program, and don't make the macros not complicated. Make it nice and simple, get a calorie target, get a protein target, hit that. Then once you're more knowledgeable, you understand what you're doing, then dive into more carbs, fats and rest day, all that sort of stuff. Just get the basics correct and then move on to the complex stuff. That's kind of what I tell my clients.
Okay, so we're moving on to our next exercise. So we've obviously pumped a lot of blood in the lateral raises. We've moved on to the Smith machine press. Now we're just hitting it at a little bit of a different angle. So almost behind us, just trying to hit that full shoulder spread up.
Back the number. One more, let's go, all yourself, all you, slight cut, slow down.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go, 2 more.
Right. That's our numbers, let's go, 1 more at least for me.
So one thing I've noticed, like, since starting with Ben, is that my lifestyle, that everything's changed in my lifestyle and that. How's it like impacted you since starting with him?
I think it's more like the small details you pay more attention to. So obviously check-in based, which is obviously what Ben implemented into my sort of plan, which I do with my clients now, is like looking at sleep, looking at how important hydration is, looking at obviously like your heart, your resting heart rate, all that sort of stuff. So you pay a lot more attention to the smaller details, which is good, and it obviously makes a difference going into sessions knowing like my sleep needs to be on point, I need to have X amount of litres in my body.
How do you think that's changed like your training and that, like paying attention to like water, sleep when calories are so low?
Energy levels obviously like vital when you're in obviously a calorie deficit, so I feel a lot better. Like my biggest downfall was probably my water intake, so what I've realised now, obviously get up in the morning, get a litre in your system, so obviously you're dehydrated when you first get up, that's the longest period of time you've not got fluids go through your body, so really important to get yourself hydrated in the morning. So energy levels going throughout the day, I found I've really improved a lot from just water intake, simple as that.
That's what I find as well, a bit like having Ben there. I remember when we first started as well actually, because I was 2 weeks into the plan with Ben and you just got started, and we said like even holding each other accountable. I remember saying, mate, if I'm not sticking to my calories, you can let me know about it.
Tell me about it.
So even having like someone there, like with Ben, like you, how was that? Has that helped you?
Big time, it's helped, but accountability. I think that's 99% of the reason why people get a coach, that accountability. But what I've also noticed by training is, if you ask somebody to make you a plan, they're going to put compound lifts in it, they're going to put incline dumbbells, bench and squat, deadlifting, whereas when Ben gave me my plan, my first exercise on a push day was lateral raises. When have you ever seen that? Like I've always straight into a chest press, straight into a heavy shoulder press, pretty much. So it's good to have accessory work to begin with, and then now, because obviously I'm a cut, you want to be moving weight from A to B efficiently without taxing the body, like obviously lifting weights on and all that sort of stuff. So now obviously I've got a lot of machine work in my programme, it's night and day. Or not.
That, do you enjoy your training then?
I prefer it a lot better. You feel so much better, the pump's better, the day after the DOMs are so, you know, you've worked yourself properly and there's no compounds, you can injure yourself, you're chasing weights and all that sort of stuff. So it is a good change to my plan, 100%, because I was very compound orientated, so it was good that sense. But strip back the weight, focus on form, focus on obviously rep ranges and all that sort of stuff, and forget, as you said, leave the ego at the door.
Yeah,
when that ego lifting in here.
I put that in my first of our session, it was like leave the ego at the door, and I'm like, fuck, that's me tell man. But it's true though, like you can go and, like I said it in my last video, talking about the leg day video, and it's just racking on the weight. It's like, nah, step that aside, go in, do what you're meant to be doing, particularly when you're on such low calories, you're such high risk to injury, and when you've got holidays planned, you don't want to get yourself injured, do you know what I mean?
Not at all, content holidays especially.
Alright, you've got to look for that big one. So now we've done some heavy pushing movements overhead, we're going to move on to a cuff lateral raise. And the reason why we use a cuff is so we can keep that tension closer to the actual shoulder joint rather than the handle, because you're passing through your wrist joint, your elbow joint, then getting to your shoulder. So everything, keeping all that tension on the side there. Yeah, there we go. So obviously, you spoke about earlier how you were 58 kilograms,
57,
you're younger.
yeah.
So obviously it's goal orientated, but if there's someone who's say 15, 16, they don't know whether they should be cutting, or even older, cutting or bulking, what would your advice be for that?
So like you said, obviously it depends on what your goals are. So personally for me, didn't have a pick of fat on me, I was skinny, I was stick thin generally, but as you said, obviously you're the opposite, you're a bit more bulkier.
Smaller, bulkier, so it wouldn't have made sense for me. Like, if me and you would eat the same amount of calories at that age, I'd have just got fat, man.
That's the important thing. So I think it's understanding what a calorie deficit is and understanding what a calorie surplus is, and finding your baseline calories, so what obviously your baseline numbers are to maintain your weight. So once you find out your maintenance, you can obviously find out for your internet, obviously putting your weight, putting your height,
macro
how active
calculator,
you are, all that sort of stuff. Calculate what your maintenance is, and then from there, I would just gradually, if I wanted to bulk like myself, add on 200 calories, right? See if you gained weight that week, keep it the same as you stop gaining.
Would you say that when you were 16 and putting on them extra calories at that age has allowed you to get to obviously the amazing physique you have just now, or was that developed over a shorter period of time?
Because you're younger, obviously you're burning calories left, right and centre, obviously, so it's harder to really track it. You're still growing at that age, all up to obviously like you're 21, you're still over whatever age it is. But no, I found I started probably noticing adding weight on when I was probably 17 to 18.
Yeah.
And that was when I really started to like track my foods and really dive into more like nutrition side of it. Obviously hit my protein targets every day. Making sure I'm hitting well over my baseline calories and tracking my scales weekly. It is hard, like it's harder to do it when you're young age as well, you're not disciplined. As you get older, the older you get, the more mature you get, the more disciplined you will be with your
I think there's more room for error when you're younger as well, whereas like...
That's your learning stage, that's like I said, the beginner games. Make all your mistakes at the start, and you get a bit older, you're still making mistakes, you're obviously going to learn from it and obviously grow in that sort of way. So no, I find it was harder because obviously, like I said, you're burning calories left, right and centre from a younger age. It does catch up on you once you start getting a bit more knowledgeable up there, you start to obviously make changes to your...
So for you would say it's when you were like 17, 18, ticking all the variables in terms of hitting your protein, hitting your calories, training properly, that's what's allowed you, rather than just doing this firing calories in, which I think is quite a misconception. A lot of people think that you can just, I think you spoke about it in one of your videos before about
Dominoes and all
eating
that.
Dominoes and the Nutella, your brioche buns, but there is a calculated way of doing it, and that's what's giving you the physique.
For so long, and it will catch up to you over time, so it depends how you want to do it.
Yeah.
You will get away with it, but it will catch up.
It's nice at the be Dominoes every day, but...
Listen, I've done that for a while. I was eating pizza, Cajun chicken pasta with double cream, 1,800 calories my lunches and all that.
This guy's on a cut and he's talking about this.
I'm only talking about a year and a half ago, but that's like you make changes and like you said, have people like better educated, you actually know.
I think that's what it comes to. I think the be all and end all is the education. You see if you're doing things properly in that, whether as you say, whether you're cutting, whether you're bulking, you'll get what you want to get if you've got the knowledge behind you.
What you put into is what you'll get, so do it right.
Okay, so we're moving on to a narrow dumbbell shoulder press. Now because I only get one shoulder session per week, I basically need to try and pack as much volume into that as I can. Obviously in the off season I said during the leg session about how we're taking pressure off the delts and the legs, putting more into the chest. So when I have a shoulder session, I absolutely rinse it. So what we're going to do here is go for a set of between 6 to 8 and then 8 to 12. And this is essentially just trying to pack as much volume and accumulate as much volume into the delt as we can. Just try and fatigue it out, which in turn is going to make it grow. If you're lean right now, you're going to miss being lean. But how do you think you're going to cope with like that, like the uncomfortableness of losing that leanness when you've been lean?
Well, all I've known has been lean. I've never actually went in a proper off season where I've gained like
excess.
So in that way, where like obviously I've cut a lot down since I started the bend. But I was always still very lean. So I don't think I like it. I mean, you need to do it obviously. It's all part of the process. Trust the process, as Ben always says. But nah, I won't like it, mate. I don't think you'll see me not post as many photos. My face will swell up a bit. That's where I see it first. I always see my face. And when I'm cutting it, first place I lose it
Like,
as
that's
well.
what I've noticed as well, like about like content.
Yeah.
And Ben said it to me during our check-in, and I was like, aye, no, I'll still be posting. When you're lean at a certain stage that we are just now, and then you lose it, you feel like you're in bad shape, but you're not.
Even that week in Ibiza, when I came back, obviously carrying a bit more water weight than usual, I was like, bloody hell, mate, I'm looking a wee bit chunkier. But that's the same thing. I spoke to Luciano on my previous video about Fast Body Dysmorphia. And I feel like, like everyone that trains in the gym will experience that at some point.
I think it's part and parcel. Even I was saying about it during my check-in, and I looked at my physique in the check-in, I'm like, I'm so disappointed with that. And now I'm like looking how I am now, carrying that extra glycogen, carrying water, and I'm like, wow, I was so lean, I was in really good shape. But are you mentally ready and mentally prepared for the off-season?
I don't know, I'll see how it goes, because like I said, I've never been in it, so we'll see how it goes. I might start it for a few weeks and be like, nah, I hate this so much.
Ben, keep me lean.
Keep me lean, so we'll see. But I like to kind of, I think my goal is kind of, obviously I need to grow, so I need to go in off-season, but I like to promote being this sort of lean, like all year round kind of lifestyle. Enjoying myself, eating good food, enjoying going nights out, but also like, keeping this condition.
And do you have that sustainability, like in terms of your lifestyle, like with that?
So like, it's just like going on nights out that you really want to go on, don't go out for the sake of it. Like if you've got a big event coming up, hold back and maybe nights out at half-arsed.
I say to clients as well, it's like about being intuitive and see if you're wanting to maintain leanness, which you've done so well, is being intuitive. Like you, for example, going out, maybe not drinking that one time and having that approach.
The main thing is, if you are going out drinking, don't overdo it the next day. If you know you've been out and you've sucked up that diet, make sure you're back on track to follow.
Might not be the Saturday night that does you, but it's the Sunday, innit?
Get the water in you, don't go for that Domino's or whatever you're going for. Just get your water in you, get your meals prepped so you're good to go. Don't throw yourself off for one night out, lead into 3 days. That's when you're really going to fall behind.
I'm looking forward to you joining me in the off-season. I maybe win more than you at the end of it somehow. Still in your dieting phase, unfortunately, don't envy you. What goals do you have going forward? Like what's next for you?
So obviously I briefly spoke about the content trip I've got to Marbella. So I've got a day in the life video coming, plus a training video in Club Pago over there, which is one of the outdoor gyms, a really well-known gym. It's absolutely amazing. I was there a few weeks ago and the facilities are brilliant out there, and obviously you're training in the sun. So it's a matter of just trying to strip off a wee bit of the water weight that I put on when I'm in Ibiza. Once I come back, I'm probably going to stick to that cut for a wee while just for content purposes, try and get as lean as possible. I spoke to Ben about that already, and then it is straight into an off-season. Just try and put some tissue on, obviously heading into summer 23. I've not got any plans for summer 23, but I'm sure there'll be a few big things in the works, and obviously
we'll see if it comes to the channel, mate.
And Mark, hopefully we get away somewhere. Got a few things planned, but right now for me it's just all content based, just trying to grow my following, obviously launch my online once I get back from Marbella as well. So we're just going to fire a bit into that. And obviously I'll see how off-season goes, see if I enjoy it or not.
You'll be joining me soon, mate. We'll be going for... No, I can't.
I'll be going for a big lash, that's it.
Can't
you say?
Is it Look and Scoop, mate? We'll hit Look and Scoop in the off-season.
The Telefilm Churros, Look and Scoop, Glasgow.
That's what I said, the content, like, now that I can't have lean content, content's going to be on food.
Hopefully Ben will allow us to do a 10,000 calorie challenge.
Don't tell him that.
So you get plenty of stuff in the works, but obviously it's going to be really content based for now, but just get it online your own and all that.
Solid, mate. Good session, brother.
Always a pleasure, mate, always a pleasure.
So that's a good shoulder session ticked off there with Ryan. Obviously we've introduced Ryan into the channel. Ryan's someone who I started my journey with in regards to the YouTube channel, and also my journey with Ben as well. And I know for a fact he's got a lot of exciting things coming to his YouTube, coming to his business, so I'm excited to obviously have a feature, and I'm sure he'll be, once he's into his off season,
that's it, I'll be
featuring much more.
Lifting bigger weights, hopefully a bit more energy in me as well.
Definitely. So I'm up the road to eat my 100 gram of Cocoa Pops post-workout, and you're up to eat...
I've got prawns and rice.
Unlucky. But this is the sacrifices that the man's making for his content, so I'll link his Instagram and his YouTube channel. Definitely go and check him out, and there's some big things coming from him. So stay strapped as we continue this off-season journey. Obviously episode 3 coming thick and fast. Look forward to episode 4.